Good morning, everybody. My name is Ben Boyarsky, and I'm a co-founder of Innoventions Med. Today, I'm going to be introducing you to Innoventions Med and the product we've developed, the PEONY, the next generation of pelvic floor reinforcement devices for women. I'm going to start today by asking a question. How many people in this room have heard the expression, "Stop making me laugh, I'm going to pee"? That seems to be most people. So, urinary incontinence can be understood as the inability to control one's bladder when exercising, coughing, or laughing, while severity does vary. It is one of the symptoms of a weak pelvic floor, alongside fecal incontinence and also sexual dysfunction. These are the problems that PEONY has been designed to solve. PEONY was invented by Professor Daniel Yahia, an eminent urologist who's initiated multiple medical symposiums in urology on urological stents and also affordable technologies. He's a prolific inventor with over 20 US patents granted and a successful businessman, having developed multiple of his products into functioning businesses that he's exited. Instent and Allium, for example. Allium is currently trading on the Israeli Stock Exchange. And myself, I've previously worked at a high-growth logistics startup and also in financial consulting. So, an idea of the scale of urinary incontinence. These are recent figures. 340 million worldwide are incontinent. This is a problem that overwhelmingly affects women, with 85% of sufferers being women. The reasons for this are hormonal changes in the body through pregnancy and menopause, and then also the physical trauma of childbirth. However, we believe this number to be an underestimation, as countries where there have been more rigorous studies, such as the US and UK, suggest that somewhere between 33 and 34% of the female population over 20 are incontinent. Our point of market entry is the postpartum market, where 50% of even uneventful deliveries result in incontinence related to pelvic floor weakness, and as evidence of the severity of the problem, between 33 and 50% of sufferers still experience leakage 5 years later. So, here's a case study of a target user. She's called Casey. She's 33 years old. She's 6 months postpartum and was advised by her doctor in the lead up to childbirth and afterwards to perform Kegel exercises to prepare her body and then help her bounce back. However, she's still incontinent. She suffers from painful intercourse and also a lack of sensation, both partners actually. She uses between 2 and 4 absorbent pads a day at an annual cost of $300 or $600, depending on which number. And it's had a negative impact on her life. She's had to give up running, one of her favorite sports and social activities, for fear of leakage and the associated smell. Postpartum incontinence doubles the risk of postnatal depression and also makes returning to work just that bit more difficult, and for many people, stops them returning to work altogether. So Casey needs a solution. However, current treatment options are inconvenient. We have Kegel exercises that she has been instructed to perform, and also Kegel exercise-adjacent devices. It's an ancient physiotherapy treatment for this problem. However, it doesn't address the issue of scar tissue. When a child is born, the pelvic floor often tears, and scar tissue forms over it, inhibiting a full range of movement of the pelvic floor muscles. This stops Kegels being as effective as they might be. Then we've got electrical stimulation therapy. It's quite expensive, ranging from $300 to $600 per device. It takes time out of your day, about 30 minutes a day, of an insertable element or a wearable device, which sends electrical currents through the body to contract the pelvic floor and perform Kegel exercises. It's a little bit uncomfortable and too painful to use for some. We have in-clinic treatments, which are kind of electromagnetic wave chairs. These are very expensive. The costs start about $1,500, but on average $2,000 plus. The course takes about 6 weeks, and you have to be in clinic. The hope is to avoid surgery. So, the PEONY makes incontinence treatment easy and affordable. We use a proprietary technology for injured tissue, muscle tissue proliferation. It is patented in the US and China with other patents pending, and is distinct from electrical stimulation and Kegel exercises or Kegel adjacent devices. It's discreet and comfortable. It's fabricated using biocompatible materials and consists of 3 elements, which you'll see on the following slides. There's an insertable vaginal element and 2 pads which are worn. The insertable vaginal element is very similar in function to a tampon, and it has been designed to be used while sleeping. So the device is inserted before bed, worn throughout the night, removed in the morning, washed, dried, or cleaned, dried, and then reused the next day. One other kind of point of differentiation is that, unlike Kegel exercises, it improves vaginal tone after childbirth. Childbirth is well known to reduce vaginal or increase vaginal laxity, as is menopause, and this is something that PEONY addresses, reducing discomfort during sexual intercourse and increasing pleasure for both partners. So, a look at the technology. On the right, we have untreated cells. You can see their almost random growth. These are typical of scar tissues. There's also a distinct lack of density. On the left, we have muscle tissue cells, which have been treated with our proprietary technology. You can see the density of cells and also the organized structure. These are striated muscle tissue cells. PEONY reorders and reforms scar tissues, thereby allowing for a full range of movement within the pelvic floor. This is an earlier prototype of what the PEONY looks like. In the center is the vaginal element, and on the sides are the probe. And here we have a positioning demo as an idea for scale. This is an early prototype. The device no longer looks like this. So, the global market in 2020 for preventing and combating incontinence was $10 billion. It's predicted to double by 2030, and this is a market that we seek to disrupt and address. The postpartum market can be understood looking at some of the statistics I referred to earlier. So 50% of new mothers, even with uneventful deliveries, experience incontinence. So there are 700,000 births in the UK every year. So we can understand that as 350,000 women who experience incontinence due to pelvic floor-related weakness or damage. And then again, 50% of that will experience leakage 5 years later. That's 185,000 women every year who are being added to a long list of silent sufferers. There is a weak competitive landscape, and this provides opportunity for disruption. This table has been formatted looking at, is the current treatment solution focused, the core of the problem, and address pelvic floor weakness? PEONY does. Is it comfortable? Are women likely to use it? Yes. Is it convenient? Does it fit easily into your day-to-day activities, and thus increasing the likelihood of use? Because you can have the best medical device, but if it's uncomfortable, if it's inconvenient, it won't be used. Also, there is the aspect of cost. Electrical stimulation devices cost between $300 and $600. In-clinic electromagnetic chair treatments cost upwards of $2,000. PEONY is significantly cheaper even than electrical stimulation therapy. I'd like to thank everybody and say that finally the ask. So Innoventions Med are pre-seed, and we're currently looking for seed funding to begin manufacture and distribution of this product. Thank you very much.